My dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Hope you are all well by the grace of Almighty Allah. I am Shanti Rahman, Assistant Teacher of National Ideal English Version School. Today I am going to take a class for the student of class 6 and our today's class is science class. And let's go to our topic. Our today's topic is chapter 2, reading done, page number 11 to 14 and homework number 5, term half yearly exam, lecture number 7, homework number 5. And my name is Shantita Rahman and this is my contact number. Our today's topic is chapter 2, reading done. So let's start our class. Chapter 2, living world. There are different elements of environment around us. Some of them have life, some have not. What type of object are chair, table, pan, brick and iron? Again, think about mango, jam, jackfruit, shapla, hilsa, koi, rui, cow, deer, etc. What type of objects are these? Those who have no life are non-living. Those who have life are living or organisms. Plants, man, cattle, fish, birds, etc. are different types of living things. Algae or mushrooms are living things too. Amoeba and bacteria are very teeny organisms. We need microscope to see them. Our living world is made up of numerous living things or organisms. In our living things, there are different kinds of plants and animals. Some are very teeny, we need microscope to see them. Some are large or some we can see in our normal eyes. Now we discuss about these living things in our class. Lesson number 1, main characteristic of living things. In this chapter, we will discuss the main features of living things. Plant, cuttlefish, insects, mushroom, etc. are organisms or living things. They have life. On the other hand, brick, stone, air, utensils means different kinds of objects or different kinds of things, etc. are lifeless. Therefore, these are non-living things. The things which have life, they are called living things, and which don't have any life, they are called non-living things. Now, main characteristic of life. Number 1, movement. Living things or organisms can move. Some living things can move from one place to another. When plant grows, its teeth also move. What is teeth? Teeth means upper part of the plant. But can any non-living thing do that? No. No non-living thing can move itself by itself. Nutrition. Every living thing lives on food. Can a piece of stone take food? No. Reproduction. Every living organism can produce its own kind. Animals have babies, plants have saplings. Sapling means young plant. Sapling means young plant. Excretion. Every living organism removes waste products by a special process. This process is excretion. Elimination of urine and carbon dioxide is an excretory phenomenon or process. Number 5, sensitivity. It's feeling. Sensitivity means one feeling. If we are prickled by a needle, we feel pain. When bright light falls on our eye, they get closed instantly because needle and light, etc. create stimulation in our body. When we touch sensitive plants such as Lajjapati, they get contracted. But if you touch or hurt a piece of stone or brick, does it show any response? When anybody touch your body, you feel it. This is called sensitivity. When we touch Lajjapati plant, it closes its leaves. It's also its sensitivity. Sensitivity lives in its leaves. That's why it closes its leaves. Number 6, respiration. Every living organism starts breathing after birth. This act of breathing in and out continuous up to death. Number 7, growth. Each living organism grows gradually after birth. Does any growth take place in non-living things? No, non-living things normally not grow, but living things are normally grow. You know that you are when you birth, you are very little baby, and after day by day you are grown up, and in the middle stage, or now you are young boy. After few days or after few years, you will be a man, and then you will be get old. This is the growth. Adaptation. Number 8. Living organisms are able to adjust and adapt themselves to their environment. An organism can adjust with the surrounding environment. When we go to the cold countries, we can adjust ourselves with this environment, and when we come to the hot countries like Bangladesh or Saudi Arab or other countries or India, we feel very hot all the times, and we can adjust ourselves with this environment also. This is called adaptation. Now lesson number 2, classification of living organism. All living things of past and present are arranged in a certain method to give a holistic but brief overview of them. Holistic means huge, lot of amount. This process of arrangement is classification. Biologists have tried to classify the organism from time to time. The most recent method of such classification is invented by Margulis and Whittaker in 1978. According to modern method of classification, the living world is divided into 5 kingdoms. Two scientists, Whittaker and Margulis, divided our living organism into 5 groups in 1978, and it is very modern classification. They divided living world into 5 kingdoms. They are living world kingdom, Monera, Protista, fungi, plantae, animalia. Let us see what features have been considered while putting the organism into these 5 different kingdoms. Kingdom number 1, Monera. The main feature of these organisms are the organism is unicellular and has no well-developed nucleus. They are too small and cannot be seen without microscope. Example, Rhizobia. Organism means unicellular, only one cell, and cell is the very important part of life. Unit of cell is called unit of life, and they have unicellular, that means they have only one cell and they have no developed nucleus. In the cell, nucleus is a very important part, and they do not have well developed nucleus. Kingdom number 2, Protista. These living organisms have well developed nucleus and they are unicellular. They are also unicellular, but their nucleus is well developed. They can live alone or in a colony, example amoeba or euglena. We need to microscope to see these two animals, and they live in colony or alone, and they are unicellular and their nucleus is well developed. Kingdom number 3, fungi. They have well defined nucleus. They could be either unicellular or multicellular. Multicellular is more than one cell. Their body do not carry chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is a colorful object which helps to make their own food, and it is basically found in the trees or plants, not in human body or animal body. Therefore, they are saprophytic. Example, yeast, mushroom, penicillium, etc. What is saprophytic? Saprophytic means dead or dead things eaten, animal or plants. Dead things, they take food from dead things. They are called saprophytic. Kingdom number 4, plant. Usually they can prepare their own food, so they are autophytic. The plants who can make their own food by themselves, they are called autophytic. They can be unicellular or multicellular. The cell wall is made of cellulose. Cellulose is one kind of molecule is created by carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. One kind of molecule, it is created by carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. They have well developed nucleus. Example, fern, mango, blackberry, jackfruit. Plantain is well developed nucleus and they are autophytic. Kingdom number 5, Animalia, animal world. These organisms have no cell wall which is composed of cellulose. In animal they have no cell wall, but in plants they have cell wall. Usually their cells have no of plastids, so they are dependent on plant directly or indirectly. Examples, fish, bird, cow, man. In animal cell there is no plastid. Plastid is a colorful object and they cannot produce their own food, so they dependent on plants and other animals for their food. Now lesson number 3, non-flowering plant. There are some plants have never bear flowers and fruits. These plants reproduce by forming spores. Spore is reproductive. Spore is reproductive cell produced by some plants and it helps to reproduce them. Plants. These plants are called non-flowering plants. This is a group of plants, many of whose body is not divided into root, stem and leaf. These plants are thallophyte. Example, Spirogyra. In the Spirogyra, their body is not divided into root, stem and leaf, and they live in a group and they are called Thallophyta. Again, some plants have a stem and leaves, but they have no roots like plants. Instead of roots, they have rhizoid. Rhizoid means small roots or root hair, very small teeny root or root hair, but they don't have any root. They are green and autophytic. Autophytic means they can make their own food by themselves. They grow on moist and old walls and wooden log. Moist means it's not dry. It's not dry. It's little bit wetty. And old walls and wooden logs. They are also found floating on water. Usually they grow on old walls so densely that they look like a thick carpet or bed, green bed, like a green bed. Example, moss. Densely means grow huge number in a place. Ferns are the most advanced forms of plants among the non-flowering plants. Their body is divided into root, here root, stem, this is a stem, and leaves. They are grown on damp old walls and shadow places. Example, dheki shak. Fern is very popular in village and they are called dheki shak. And moss, they are moss and they don't have any root, they have a rhizoid and their body is not divided into root, stem and leaves. My dear students, hope you understand our today's class, and our today's homework is make 5 MCQ. Make 5 MCQ from this chapter. My dear students, you abide by your parents. Keep well. Till then, Assalamu alaikum.